contest in the pick and roll tonight, especially with that Conley-Gobert matchup. What was leading to maybe more success in that play than you had in game one?
Well, for one, Mike wasn't in foul trouble. The first 3 possessions in the third quarter, he was out. And, I think, Mike, the other thing is, I think our team is kind of getting reconnected in some ways. We really wanted to try to space the floor. So I thought our spacing was better, and that allowed Mike to have more room. And I also thought we were able to read coverages better and find the right read, whether it was a kick out or a lob or Mike finishing. It felt like there was a lot of variety, in those situations. And, those guys have been doing that, this year. And, they play well together. And, it was good to see, because it was something that obviously we needed, especially the way Memphis was shooting the ball and playing offense.
Kristen Kenny, Jazz TV.
Coach, first off, congrats on a great team win, and so good to see Donovan back. What impressed you most about his performance tonight?
Well, anytime, you've been out for a significant period of time, I think there's a tendency to try to really put a stamp, on the game. And I thought he really let the game come to him. He was patient. He got a few catch and shoot threes early where he, got good looks, got off the ball and kind of made a simple play. And then I think as the game went on, you saw him attacking the basket more, but he really played within himself. I thought he just made the right plays. And, obviously it's good to have him back. It certainly changes our team. You take a player like that off any team, it's going to impact you. And for us, the things that he gives, I think his spirit as well. There's a competitive spirit that he has, and you can feel it when he plays. And I think, that's something that I think our guys also feed off of.
Matthew Coles, AP.
Besides his competitive spirit, what does he bring to the offense? How does the offense change when Donovan's in there?
Well, he's unique in that, he's one of the best catch and shoot 3-point shooters in the NBA. The plays that, that show up in the highlights are usually him going to the rim or dunking or doing something like that, and just being spaced and, knocking down a 24-foot three has a huge impact, because it stretches the defense and it lets other guys have more room. The biggest thing that you felt when he has been out is certain situations in the game, where somebody's got to go get a bucket, and he relishes those moments. And anytime you have a guy that's able to create in those situations, it's something that you come to rely on. Mike, is capable of doing the same thing. So, but you miss that at various times. It changes matchups. When you have multiple guys on the floor that can make plays, it allows you to kind of, I won't say, I don't know the right way to say it. Whoever's either got the hot hand or has a matchup situation, and those guys really play off each other. So you can't really underestimate. I mentioned it the other night when Don's out, all of a sudden, Joe's having to play the point, and Joe's a heck of a playmaker, but bringing the ball up, 90 feet an entire game is not easy, especially against pressure. So having those multiple handlers out there, Donovan just takes pressure off a lot of other guys, and then I think he really picks his spots when he can go, create and score at really important times in the game.
Eric Walden, Salt Lake Tribune.
When Memphis really had kind of an efficient third quarter, climbing back into the game, I think they shot 67% from the field in the period. And then it felt like Rudy kind of swung the momentum back early in the fourth with his defensive presence. What did you see him do to kind of change the momentum of the game that way?
Well, they had more than an efficient third quarter. That first 6 minutes, they were terrific. And, I think Ja and Dylan, that they're so aggressive and so confident when they're attacking, that if they see lanes to the basket, they're gonna drive those seams and get on the rim. And I thought we didn't do a good job in transition. And then sometimes when we did do a pretty good job, they made shots. And maybe the biggest thing is that we fouled. I just thought we fouled way too much. But you can't say enough about Ja Morant. I mean, he's a special player, and he can get where he wants to on the floor, and he's really tough to defend. So you could feel that during that stretch of the game. I thought, we weren't executing. You're not going to be able to stop all that, but we weren't executing the way that we needed to. And I think Rudy made some adjustments individually where he was able to put himself in the play more and be more impactful. And, that's something that he's always trying to feel. But that, as you said, I thought, our defense just improved, but I thought we lost focus at the beginning of the third. And, we talked about it a little bit, but they just came out, at a really high level and knocked us back. Frankly, I thought I was impressed with how we responded. I thought that was a really good thing, given the way that, that onslaught occurred.
Ben Anderson, KSLSports.com.
Quin, speaking of Ja, what can you do about him to either try and get the ball out of his hands or just slow him down?
Well, I think a lot of times people feel like you go double someone and, you've accomplished the goal. And oftentimes that's the case. But it's hard to get it out of his hands, even if you double team him out on the floor, because he's so quick. I think, we didn't shift enough. He just saw too much space. And, when he sees that, he's going to attack those gaps and those seams. So there's some things that we tried to do a little differently as the game went on. I think to the extent that he's playing vertically, you're in trouble. And, it's hard not to have him, play vertically, but, you have to try to string him out and make him play more horizontally, because when he's downhill, he's just attacking your big straight on and attacking their chest, and he's so athletic. He's able to hang and finish or drop the ball off. And, he gets in there and he's hanging up in the air for 3 or 4 seconds, kind of just picking and choosing what he wants to do. So keeping him out of the paint, is what you want. But it's easier said than done. But there are some situations where, we just have to be better. There's some things we can control or we can try to control. And then there's other situations that, he makes plays. So, but again, I thought there were a few times where we guarded him. You can't give him 20 free throws. I mean, that's a huge number. And I thought that had a huge impact on the game. They were silly fouls a lot of times too. Just reaching, and not getting anything out of it, whether it was and one. So we'll keep trying to find ways to adjust to try to impact that. And, we've got to do a lot of other things right. If he has a night like tonight.
We have time for one last question. It will come from Tony Jones, The Athletic.
Coach, piggybacking off of Ja, do you think about, maybe switching up pick and roll coverages, give them different looks, maybe going under for a few possessions, going over, or maybe even trapping and blitzing?
Yeah, I'm going to have to get you the clips, Tony. Yes, we made some adjustments during the game, frankly, and I thought they did help. That's no magic. Teams do that, and you want to do that. I think the last game we played, we were really poor defensively. So part of it is, let's see what we can do and how we can guard. And I think midway through that third quarter, we did try to do some things differently. But there's some basic things in our base coverages that we didn't execute. So You know, whether it's going under, you go under, he flips the angle of the screen and he's downhill. A couple of times we went under and he made a shot. So it's a little bit of a, you know, what do you react to and what do you not react to? And, you know, that's a balance there. That's why I mentioned the fouls, because, you know, if you go under and he makes a couple shots, you know, tip your hat. You go over and he gets in the lane. You know, the things that hurt us is, you know, when he gets in there and you've played good defense and you foul him, or he takes a shot and you miss and there's an offensive rebound. But, you know, the pick and roll schemes are the lifeblood of this league. And he certainly puts a lot of pressure on you to figure those things out. And it's something we look at and work hard on. And sometimes it looks better than others.
All right. Thank you for your time, Coach. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.